Hi, welcome to this live playthrough from USS Freedom. I'm going to play a full session, so let's start right away. I have set up the interstellar map, so we start with the game right away. Just a quick reminder, the gameplay has 5 phases. We start with the interstellar phase, which is around this interstellar map. Then we have the navigation phase, which is the second phase, followed by the third phase, the encounter phase. Then we move to the combat, which is the fourth phase, and the last and final phase is a cleanup phase. So, starting our session, we dive directly into the interstellar phase. So what we do here is we have already set up the map, following the status of our campaign, if it is a first adventure or if we're in the middle of the adventure. Let's say that we're in a somehow advanced state now. So what I would be doing now is I would be diving into the interstellar phase, where I would have to accordingly roll a d6 for each of the minis on the game board, or those minis, to see how they move on the interstellar map. So let's start right away. Keep in mind that the order, as I have explained in the previous how to play video, the order by which the minis move is always the same. First we move the Destroyer of Worlds, then we move the Excalibur, then we move the Wida 2, and then the Eldorado. Okay, and this is us. This is the USS Freedom. So let's dive right away. So we start with the Destroyer of Worlds. For each mini, I'm going to roll a d6 to see how they move. They're going to follow the numerical direction of this hex, which represents our relative position on the map. So for example, my 4 is moving down, my 5 is moving this way, etc., because this is a USS mini. So start by rolling a d6 for the Destroyer of Worlds. It's a 3, meaning that it'll have to move on the lower bottom right corner. So they move like that, they go on this planet. What happens now is when the Destroyer of Worlds moves on a planet, nothing happens, because the problem would be if the Destroyer of Worlds would move on one of the alien minis, the other spacecraft, where we have a collision. So for the moment they just move one in the direction of 3 compared to the relative position of our mini USS Freedom. Then we move with rolling a d6 for Excalibur, which is this mini here. So let me roll in one more. So that's a 1. That means that it moves north, so they're going to go 1, because 1 is pointing upwards, and they sit here. Then we have the next mini, which is the Wida 2, the bandits. So we need to roll again one d6, and it's a 4. That means they have to move south, so they come here, moving south. And then the last mini is the Eldorado, the cargo ship. So we roll another d6 for that one. That's a 1, and they have to move again north, so they also go on this planet here. So keep in mind that if at any point there would be a collision, we'll have different interactions. For the moment there was no collision, so we don't have to do anything as explained in the rulebook. So that's the interstellar phase. We have finished with the movement of the different minis, so we move into the navigation phase, again focusing on this map here. So I move in the navigation phase. During this phase I'll have to decide where I'm going to move on to. So for the moment I need to set up the map. So in order to do that, first I need to check my surroundings. This is my mini, this is USS Freedom. So I'll have to see what's around this hex. We see different space and different locations. So we see, for example, the homeworld of this Ruby Empire, the homeworld here of this blue empire, also various green hexes that they come from this deck, respectively the red would come from this one, but here, since it's a cold world, I'll have to use the number 1 alien species, which is the dominant civilization. I'll show you later on when I set up the cards around my spacecraft. And then for this blue one I'll also need to use here the alien core civilization for this core world, and also have an additional blue one. So essentially I need to pick up different decks in order to shuffle them and make the surroundings around my spacecraft. I pick up the green ones because I have green hexes around me. I pick up the red ones. I pick up the blue ones, because I have blue hexes, and I pick up cards 1 till 9, the Onyx cards, which actually are different spacecrafts that are generic, and they are always shuffled in the mix with the rest of the cards. So again, I will move now to showing you on the side how the surroundings would look like by randomizing the cards. What I need to do is I need first of all to find the core alien civilization, because it's right behind me, so I need to put it facing location 2, because these guys are here, and this is the core world civilization. These are the aliens, the originators, and you can see it's NS1, this is the alien species. Then I'll also have to find the respective alien civilization for the core planet here, because it's next to me, and this is from the Ruby cards, and these are the Ephialtes, so they need to face the position number 4, as you can see here. So far it would be something like that. So these cards are predetermined because I'm next to 2 core worlds, as you can see, 1 and 1, 2, and for the remaining of the slots I'll need to shuffle together the green cards, this deck, the blue ones, this deck, and the Onyx cards 01 to 09, which are these ones here. From there I will pick up a card randomly and fill the slots 3, 1, 6 and 5, which are vacant at the moment. So I now have 1 encounter card next to each side of the navigation tile, and without looking the back side of these cards I have to decide where I'm going to go towards. So for example, again, keep in mind this is just my mini. In theory this is looking like that, yeah, okay, so this is me. So if I go towards direction number 4, I'll bump on this core world and I have to face Ephialtes, which is a strong alien species. The same will be if I go towards direction number 2, another strong species, because this is another core world at position number 2. This is a Titan, which is again something interesting that we have to do space combat to face it. For the moment I'm not interested going there. And here I have some aliens that I need to face, a spacecraft, an alien spacecraft from this greenish empire or era, and another monster here. So let's say for my decision I'll go and face these guys here to get some credits, because I'm low on credits. So I will move from here, I will move from my position to the master slot, meaning I will move like that, okay? So on the interstellar map that would mean that I'm coming here and I'm engaging the exo Shakwats. Okay, so let's see what we're going to face over here. So this is the exo Sasquatch. This is a monster that we have to face. Again, I'm in the encounter phase, so in theory I would have to roll the encounter roll and resolve the counter on the back of the card. This is a monster, meaning that there are no options, so I just have to face them in order to try to defeat them and get some more credits. So we'll have to do combat with this monster. So let's see what this is all about. This is a frog-like creature. Let me focus so you can see. Encounter in swamps and on planets with great humidity. These slimy beasts are truly repulsive to behold. Their thick skin has regenerative capabilities, and its stench is quite appealing to dire termites. Okay, so maybe you have to do something with these additional enemies, if they're summoned or something, which tend to live close to where these creatures nest. Their excitement must be some kind of delicacy to the termites, because in this Sasquatch are threatened. If the Sasquatch are threatened, more often than not, the dire termites will come to their aid. Okay, so they're coming to support them in terms of a battle. So I'm expecting that they will have some termites, dire termites popping up for sure. The Sasquatch and dire termites have evolved together in a symbiotic relationship. They are told the toad will bring an enemy close with its tongue when unleashing pheromones that make the other peaceful ants into crazed fighters. Okay, so it's buffing them up with some kind of pheromones and making them fight for them. This would be essentially the dire termites. So let me locate this card as well. Most probably it will be handy. It will pop up. Indeed, that would be the case, because if you look closely on the abilities, the orange ability of this monster, it summons a dire termite, and this would be this card here. So it will bring this card to support it, so we'll have to face both of them in order to defeat both of them and proceed with our mission respectively. So this looks interesting. Okay, so we are preparing for combat. That means that we'll have to select our combat crew. I'm playing a game of 2 players, so we have the green player here and the blue player here respectively. So each of those players will have to get some crew in order to proceed with the combat. What we do is we shuffle the hero deck, which I have already done, and then I deal 2 hero cards to each player, to the green player and to the blue player. Let's say I'm the green player. Then each player will have to select one of those 2 and then return the rest, the one that they didn't choose, to the deck and shuffle it. So let's say I give 2 to this player to choose from and 2 to that player to choose from. So okay, let's say they go with the orc and they select it and they discard this one, which will be shuffled, and this player are going to select, for example, the Star Knight, and they will discard this one as well. 2 more cards here, 2 more cards here, after they're shuffled, of course. The elf and Hygeia means let's go for the elf. Of course, if you know the heroes you'll be choosing faster, because you can spend some time to select heroes depending on their abilities, on what they should make more sense depending on the mission, if there is a need for a range or a melee attack or special abilities, etc. So let's pick up the wizard. Usually the robot would be a more suitable choice for space combat, when you have to support and create more engineering. So the last hero. Always for ground combat there will be 6 heroes in total. Let's go with the priest, because he can also heal, and that's a plus. And the last choice from the blue player would be, let's say, for example, the last hero would be from those 2 that I just pulled. As I shown you, we have the paladin and the vampire bride. I think I'll need a bit more strength, so let's go with the paladin. So I'll pick up this one, and the remaining cards will be discarded, because they're not going to be participating in this section. So give me a sec to locate the standees. Okay, this is the elf, this is the priest, this is the orc, we have Star Knight, our wizard, and our paladin. So these are our standees. Again, this is a ground combat fighting a monster, meaning that we have to select specifically 6 heroes that are going to be divided between the players. We have 2 players here, the green and the blue player, so each of those will control 3 heroes as seen on your screen. If it goes to space combat, I would of course use all of the 12 heroes, and I will we would draft between the active players 12 heroes. So heroes have been selected. Let's proceed with the setup for the ground combat. So to set up the ground combat, what we do is we place the ground combat board. It could be on the surface of a planet, or it could be on a space dock. Here it's on the surface of the planet, because we're going to face one monster based on our choice and the direction we took with our spacecraft. What we do is we place the ground combat board on the table, with in the middle of the table, within easy reach for everyone. And then what we do is we place the alien monster standee. This is a monster standee. This is what we're going to be facing on the hex with the number 2, as I'm indicating now. Whenever I'm placing a standee, I need to select one of the edges of the hex. I cannot place it in the middle or without having a direction. It needs to either face this direction, that direction, that direction, etc. So for starters, we are placing it facing the bottom right direction of the hex. Then we're going to populate with our 6 heroes, the one that we drafted, the various hexes on the bottom portion of the ground surface combat board. So we put on hexes 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12 our minis. Again, as you can see, they're facing specific sides of the hex. None is in the middle or not being able to identify which hex they're facing. That's why they're close to one of the hex. As a reminder, you can only have up to 3 standees in a hex and no more, and you cannot pass through hexes with 3 standees respectively. So in terms of initial positioning, I have done it so far. I have placed my elf here, my priest here, my wizard on the slot number 12, the Star Knight is there, the orc is here, and the paladin is there, ready for battle. Just as a brief reminder, what I need to do is if I need to spawn more monsters at the beginning, or more enemies in general, there are rules in the rulebook. I follow the hexes 1, 3 respectively to put more, and 4 to put more enemies if I need to, and then I'm ready to go. Each of the combat rounds is divided in 5 steps. We have, first of all, the upkeep phase, the upkeep step. Then we have the ether step, where we gain more ether crystals for our heroes. Then we have the movement of the heroes. Then we have the actions. Heroes can either choose to make another ability attack, a basic attack, or use an item, if any. Here we don't have any items. And then the 5th and last step is the enemy step, where we get to move the enemy monsters or aliens or whatever, and then do the respective action themselves. Now, each step is very easy. We start with the upkeep step. So for the upkeep step, we're going to be selecting from this white chip stack and revealing the top one, so that it's positioned there and we know which of the 4 abilities of the monster are going to be activated in the enemy step. So depending if it's blue, we're going to activate this one. If it is yellow or orange, this one. Green will activate the body slam, and red will activate the tongue kiss over here. Just for the first round, we never pull one of those white chips. We always activate the blue ability, the same like with the space combat respectively. Moving forward from the second round of combat, we'll be starting using this upkeep phase in order to draw 1 white chip for each of the standees that we have. We start with 1, so we draw 1. If we had for any reason 2, that means that we need to draw 1 for the exo and 1 for the termite respectively, and know exactly how they're going to plan to attack. And then we do our next steps. So we don't draw for the 1 for the moment. We know that the exo is going to attack with the regenerative slime, meaning regaining 3 hit points and whirlwind of 4. Whirlwind of 4 means that they do a damage of 4 in all of the heroes standees that they are in the same hex like the monster itself. So we need to try to avoid teaming up, because if we are like that and he makes a windwheel, he will damage for both the orc and the paladin themselves. So we need to be careful. Okay, it can also regenerate hit points if it is the blue crystal that he's the blue chip that he's using. He can summon a dire termite and boost the ally with +1 attack if it's already on the board. You don't summon a second one. And the most strong and devastating is the tongue kiss. As you can imagine, it makes a shoot 9 and pull the enemy towards themselves if you get to draw a red chip activation. Now, just a couple of words for the main heroes that we have. Generally, when you have a shoot, it's arranged. For example, our elf here can shoot in a straight line if it's facing the enemy. So like that, they would attack the enemy with a range. We can also have a strike. When you have a strike, it needs to be melee, meaning that it needs to either be facing in an adjacent hex or being within the same hex to make a strike. So this could be a legal strike, a melee attack, or this could be a legal strike. But this one, which we do not have facing of the two standees, we cannot do, the paladin cannot do a strike attack from here. A couple of more words. The energy attacks go directly into the hit point of the monster because they're not blocked from the strength. Any normal strength, physical strength like the strike, it's been reduced by the attack value, the strength value of the enemy. So if I do a strike of 5, that is 5 minus 3, I would inflict 2 hit points. If I do an energy attack of 5, I would directly inflict 5 hit points respectively. Briefly, to go through the abilities of our hero so that you know the way I'm thinking. The priest is good with generating healing actually, so he can heal heroes in the same hex, in other hexes, in another hex, or all heroes, which is his most strong ability, but he's not good at attacking at this moment. He has a strength of 2, and since the strength of the beast is 3, so he would do no damage at all with the physical, with the fist. So we need to protect him. That's why I placed him at the back, being ready to dive into the combat and action once they are needed for healing purposes, for example. The wizard himself also, he's good at disabling enemies when they have less hit points than them. So we may be activating them with a blue crystal once the termite is on, or once the exo has less hit points than him, then he will be able to disable them once and for all, and that will be good, but not at the beginning of the session for sure. And another strong ability that they have is the counter enemy ability, which cancels an enemy ability. So potentially can even cancel the spawning on the summoning of the termite if they have a red crystal at this stage. A couple of more things to notice is we have the orc, which they inflict damage according to their lost hit points, so they make a strike equal to their lost HP, meaning at the beginning they will not be very helpful, but once they have a lot of hit points, they can use them to make a very devastating blast and put a lot of damage on the enemy, but then you need to quickly heal them with the priest, I suppose. The elf is good for ranged. The Star Knight is using some energy attacks, which they go directly into the hit points, so she's very useful as well. And the paladin is also useful, but they need to gain more highly potency crystals in order to make, for example, critical energy strike 3, because with the strike 3 they do nothing since it's blocked altogether from the beast. That's that. I'm not going to go into more details. Let's dive into the battle itself right away. So that being said, what we do is we start with the first phase, the upkeep. So we know it's going to be activated with the blue ability, so they're going to make regain 3 hit points. They haven't lost any hit points for the moment, and make a whirlwind of 4 on the same hex that they're located. And then we move from the upkeep phase to the ether phase. Each hero now gets 1 randomly drawn crystal on them, so that we can start planning our abilities respectively. Okay, lots of green, that's cool. That's the second best, that's the third best, the crystal. The first is the red, then it's the orange, then it's the green, and then it's the blue. Keep in mind that you can spend 2 blue as if it was 1 green. So 2 blue and 1 green can make 1 yellow, and 2 yellows can make 1 red, for example. You always start drawing from left to right, like I do now. So there you have it, that's what we have for the moment. Then we move to the movement phase. Our heroes move, and then they will move to their action phase. So I'm thinking that I need to make a ranged attack to begin with, because the elf can do ranged attack. So the elf can move 3, it's her agility plus 1, so her movement is 3 plus 1, 4. So I think it's going to be 1, 2, 3. They're sitting here, and from here they can shoot in a line directly the monster. They couldn't shoot from here because there is no direct line, so it needs to be, I don't know if you can see it like that. That's why I brought her here, so she can make a direct shot on him from a safe distance. So she will shoot from there. Then I'm thinking I'll leave the paladin and the priest at the back for starters, because they cannot contribute a lot. We're just trying to gain a lot of crystals for them in order to be able to counter abilities or heal in later phase of the combat in later stages of the combat phase. So our main three heroes that will take to do the hard work of damaging a lot will be Star Knight, the Orc, and the Paladin, of course. So for the moment, Paladin has one green one, which means they make a charge strike 4, so they can move 2. Charge means they can move twice their normal movement. So this moves 1 plus 1, 1 agility plus 1, 2 movement, so they can move up to 4 due to the charge if they're using a green crystal. And then make a strike of 4. If they make a strike of 4, that'll be 4 minus 3, just 1 hit point. Keep in mind that he's going to use the blue one, so he's going to regenerate 3. So if I just make 3 hit points, it's just making a hole into water. So let's just think more creatively, unless I can generate more than 3 hit points. My Star Knight has a green, meaning that she can make an energy chain. Okay, energy chain is a very interesting hit. Means that she will inflict adjacently from here, or from here, or from here, damage to this creature with a value of 2 energy damage. That means they cannot block it unless they have resistance. This does not have resistance, so it will be not blocked. Energy goes directly into the flesh, so it's not blocked like physical damage. So it will make 2, and then you can make a 2 minus 1, 1 in one adjacent or another enemy next to in the position or adjacent to the position of the monsters. For the moment we only have one enemy. If later on we get to spawn the termite, maybe we can think again of making energy chains. It will be useful to damage 2 standees, enemy standees. For the moment, I think that's not a bad idea to go 1, 2. She can go up to 3. Her movement is 2 plus 1, 3. And she will make potentially an energy chain 2. She can also do a charge energy strike 1, which essentially it will not bring more, it will bring 1 damage only, so this is better. Okay, so Elf is ready, Paladin is ready. We're not moving these 2 guys. And then we have, sorry, the Elf is ready, the Star Knight is ready. We have not moving Priest and Wizard. Let's see about the Orc. The Orc can make a strike of 5, but then it loses 1 hit point. So I think they're going to do just that. So it moves 3 plus 1, 4. They have 3 agility of 3. So they're going to face the monster here. And then the Paladin is going, I'm taking a very offensive posture, as you can see, but I need to start dealing a lot of damage because this guy is going to be regenerating a lot of health points 3 times each time he does a blue ability. So then the Paladin can do charge strike of 4. Not bad, so let's see. So she will move 1 plus 1, 2, so 1 plus 1, 2, and she's facing this side here. That's a very, very tight formation, but I'm going to start, let's see if it works. I'm going to start, you know, immediately with my weapons flying. So that's it, I'm not moving anymore. We move to the actions. Let's start with the Elf. The Elf is going to use one of, she has a yellow one. Okay, so the yellow ones, as you can see, are abilities that they are linked with the starship, the StarCraft. So echo powers to weapons, destroy incoming missile, etc. With the exception of the Priest and the Wizard. The Wizard can rearrange the top 3 chips of the stack so they can choose what is coming next if they use an orange one, and the Wizard and the Priest can choose to spend an orange crystal. It's good to have it right now. To negate, to cancel a hero being killed and removed from the campaign altogether, because it will be disabled instead. So we're saving the hero because we like it and we want it for the next sessions, otherwise it will be out of the campaign for sure. All the rest of the yellow abilities are linked with the StarCraft, the starship, so it's not with USS Freedom, so it's not bringing anything now at the moment because we're doing ground combat. And also the blue abilities, as you can see, have 2 options. One is linked with general abilities like striking or attacking, and the bottom one is usually used for the spacecraft again. For example, this Paladin says strike 3, armor 4. Okay, this is an action that she can take, and shields 4 is something that's only linked with the spacecraft. Okay, enough talking, more doing. Let's see what we do. So let's see. The elf is using the yellow crystal. You can use a crystal to do a less strong power, so I can use a yellow crystal to do a green power, no problem. So I'm using the yellow crystal to make an energy shot of 3. Okay, that goes out. So she's firing her bow, and she's doing a direct damage of 3 hit points. Because it's an energy shot, it cannot be blocked from the strength of the animal, the monster, and it does 3 damage. Already we managed with elf's turn to negate, to getting the 3 hit points that they will be reducing when it's regaining the hit points. We need to do more now. I'm thinking about the orc going next. They can use the green one to do a strike equal to the lost HP. This will be more useful down the road when they get more hit points on them. For the moment they're going to use the green one to make a charge strike 5. Charge they can move twice, we don't care. It was enough for us to reach the monster from an adjacent hex. And then we do a strike 5, but we lose 1 HP. So that means that we're going to gain 1 HP. We're making a pain to strength, that's very thematic, but we're inflicting 5 damage on the monster. 5 minus 3 because it's a physical damage, 2. So again, the monster is gaining 2 more. Already we're doing well. The elf activated, the orc activated. Let's see about the paladin. She's here. Now the paladin, she's going to, if she spends the green one, she's going to make a charge. The charge is to move twice, strike 4 with a resistance of 2. That's good because she also has a resistance of 2. That can block energy attacks. So she will make the green attack and make a strike of 4. 4 minus 3, 1. She inflicts 1 more damage on the beast, on the monster. Okay, then we have the Star Knight, which she's located on the same hex, so she can make a melee attack. She has a green crystal, she can make an energy chain of 2. That's good. So she will inflict 2 hit points directly with no blocking because it's an energy hit. So 2 more hit points for the team. Doing well so far. And I think that's it. We managed to do whatever we could at this stage, and now we move to the enemy. The enemy, in theory, when it's activated, first it does its movement. All enemies move up to 3 hexes. They can move less than 3 if they choose. The enemy moves up to 3 hexes towards the closest hero. They use the following criteria to discriminate between choices. So they go first for the hero with the highest strength skill, meaning if the master was here and 2 heroes are there and one has strength of 3 and one has strength of 1, the master will go to the strength of 3 hero to engage. If that's also tied, if both of them have strength of 3 and the master is here and the heroes are here, then the master will go to the hero with the more damage cubes. So if this one has more hit points damaged, more injuries inflicted on themselves, they will move there instead of here, the master that is. And again, if that's a tie, so if they have no damage at all and if they're strength 3, both of them, then the hero with the most heroes in the hex. So if this hero had 1 more hero on this hex, 1 and 1, 2, it would attack this hero instead of that one would be alone. If again it's a tie, then the players choose where the monster attacks. So what we do then is we're not going to move. There's no need to move. It has heroes within reach, and he's going to do the whirlwind. 4 means that he's going to regain 3 hit points. And he's going to make an attack of physical attack of 4 on each hero standee on his hex, meaning here. So far we only have Star Knight, meaning that she's going to take 4 damage. It's a whirlwind of 4 damage, minus her strength, which is 1, so she takes 3 damage. So we take 3 damage and put it on our hero, and she has 3 out of 10. If she gets 10, she dies and she's removed from the campaign. We have to be careful there. So far, so good. Something I forgot to mention is whenever there is a keyword ability like here, the Whirlwind 4, it's not just 4 damage, we need to draw one of the thrusters as a modifier, so it is 4 plus 3. Ooh, so that was 7. So that, and then we reshuffle those. So that means 7 minus 1, she gets 6 damage. So that's way bad, way worse. She's bleeding quite well, so we need to protect her now, or heal her with the priest. Let's see what we're doing now. Moving to the second combat, so we take our stack, and now they're activated. This is the upkeep phase. They're going to do the green ability. A body slam, meaning a whirlwind of 5, increasing the damage to 5, but at least they're not regenerating at this stage. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to protect our Star Knight. She has an agility of 2. I think she will move 1, 2, plus 1, 3. She will move here next to the she was here. She will move 1, 2, 3. She will move here, so she will be in a position to be healed by the priest, respectively, if he spends crystals, because she is bleeding quite well. For the moment, she will move just there, and I think do nothing because she will have an issue. But before doing that, again, I forgot that we need to do the ether phase after the upkeep, so we draw 1 crystal for each of our heroes. And the same goes for the green player. I'm choosing to play all of them. Okay, I'm making a playthrough with both of the players, but at this stage we can say that the green player has one of their heroes playing, then the blue one can select 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever, and then go back to the green player. It's up to the players to organize themselves who goes first, and between the players to collaborate efficiently, of course, because it's a co-op game. So I've done the upkeep phase, I know what's coming down the road. I've done the ether phase, drawn more ether crystals. Now moving to the movement phase. Now the Star Knight can move 1, 2, 3, closer to the priest, so she can be healed potentially and regenerate health points, recover health points, that is. For the moment, she is the only one critical. I think that I think that I'll continue attacking with my orc from there, because she can do again another critical charge strike 5 and lose 1 more HP. I want to lose some HP with this nasty lady, because when she has a lot of damage, she can make a strike equal to lost HP with a green crystal and inflict a lot of damage on the monster itself. So let's say for the moment she will stay here. Okay, then the paladin will also stay there because she has a strength of 3, and actually she's going to move. No, she's going to move 1, 2. She has an agility of 1 plus 1 for the movement 2, so she moves there. The reason for that is that she is going to draw the monster at here. No, if she moves there, she's going to draw the monster there, and then yes, then I can move also. Yeah, I will move the paladin here, okay, because she has a strength of 3, so between the two of them the monster will go here. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the orc there, no movement. I'm going to move my wizard, because he's not doing anything at the moment. He has an agility of 1, he can move 2, so let's say 1 plus 1, 2, he goes there. Actually, maybe it's better to go there. And then I will move also my elf here. No, I will leave my elf here because she can attack before the monster, and then we're ready to go. So let's see. The orc is going to spend the green crystal use it as it was blue one. Charge, strike 5, charge means I move twice, I don't care. Strike 5 means I inflict 5 damage, but I lose 1 HP. That's a consequence of my berserker attack. Weapons 4 is for the StarCraft, we don't care, in the lower part of the blue box. It inflicts strike 5 damage, minus 3, 2 more to the monster. Then I can use the elf ability again to shoot energy shoot of 3 from there, not bad. So I inflict energy shoot of 3. It cannot block anything because it's an energy shot, meaning it goes directly to the flesh of the monsters, no blocking from the strength. So 3 hit points here. Okay, that's good. Already we've reached 10 so far. The priest is going to spend the green crystal to heal the Star Knight because it's in the same hex. The green crystal says heal all other heroes in a hex. There's only one hero here with the damage. So when healing, you gain the healer gives half of the hit points of the injured person. So half of 10, because all of the heroes have 10 hit points, is 5. So he can remove up to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he removes 5 hit points, and she goes all the way to 9 health. 10 minus 1, 9 health, the Star Knight, and she's fully functional once again. That was good. And then I moved to my wizard. He's not doing anything. He's gathering crystals. For the moment he has 2 green ones, means that they can rearrange the next 3. Use it as 2 green ones as an orange to rearrange the next 3 abilities. I'm not going to spend them. I'm gathering more crystals in order to be able to make a counter enemy ability, to be able to counter the summoning of the termite once this happens, at least for the first time. So she's done. The paladin, she's here. She can spend the blue crystal to make a strike 3 armor 4. Does nothing because strike 3 minus 3 is equals to 0. She would only gain armor of 4 instead of her 3 that she has now. I'm not going to spend the crystal. I'm going to keep it for the moment. Also doing basic combat with 3 does nothing for the moment, so she's just sitting like a bait there to draw the monster in there. And then everyone has activated. The wizard does nothing. The Star Knight was moved and chose to be healed. Orc attacked, elf attacked, priest healed, and that's it. So we finished. Now it's the monsters, the enemy's turn. They move. They can move up to 3. So between the paladin with a strength of 3 and the orc with a strength of 2, they choose to move here, let's say, so that they can make an attack on the paladin with their green ability, a whirlwind of 5. So 5 minus 3, sorry, the paladin is here, has 3 strength, 5 minus 3, 2 damage on 2 hit points on the paladin themselves. Okay, so far so good. Nothing else happens for the moment. Then we move to the next round. Then we have the upkeep phase. We take the stack and we draw the first one. Then it's a blue one. This stack is going to be increased, and they're only going to be reshuffled once a red or a white color chip comes out. We make resolve what it's supposed to be doing. I'm mentioning it later, and then we reshuffle the whole stack once again. No other enemies, so we only draw 1 chip at the moment. The blue ability, again, they're going to make the regenerative slime, regain 3 HP and whirlwind of 4. We know that's going to happen, so 3 hit points are going to be regenerated for him, removed, whatever. So ether ability, another green one for the Star Knight, a yellow for the wizard, and a blue for the paladin. Then the green player throws a red one. Ooh, Barbarian Frenzy, critical strike equal to lost HP. so critical means it's doubled after a reduction from armor. Ooh. A blue one and another yellow. That means 2 yellows means that I get a red. With a red I can heal all other heroes. That's very useful. He's ready to heal everyone on the board if needed. That's very, very useful. Of course, they're not contributing the wizard and the priest to the attack, but they have their purpose and I'm fine with it. Let's move to the movement phase. Now, the monster already has paladin in there with 2 hit points. Again, I forgot that when I made the Wind 5, I need to draw from the thrusters token for modifier, so it is 5 plus 0. Okay, so 5 plus 0, 5, so 5 minus 3, 2. I always need to remember to draw a thruster token for every time a monster attacks with a keyword. So that's why I drew one now. So no harm done, no change there. Moving forward, what I'm doing now is moving to the movement phase of the third combat round. So what I need to do now is I need to I think I'm going to move my elf here, so she needs to shoot again. She has a blue one. She can make a shot of 4, meaning that only 1 damage will pass through, unfortunately. Nonetheless, it's okay. Then I have 3 green crystals for the paladin, which makes 1 yellow and 1 green. I need 2 yellow to make a double energy strike 3, which is good, so nothing yet. I think the wizard is still gathering crystals. The priest is not doing anything. I think I'm going to activate my orc and my paladin for the moment. The paladin can take more damage. They only have 2 hit points. So let's say I'm going to move my orc with a movement of agility 3 plus 1, 4. So she will go there to be able to make an attack, because she can do with a red a critical strike equal to lost HP, meaning I can make a critical 2 hit points times 2, 4. That's not bad. I wish I had more. Maybe I should save it for next round, but then I'm not going to be able to do a lot of damage this round, I suppose. So that's fine, no problem. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm making I don't move the paladin, she stays there, and then we move to the actions. Now the actions, the priest is going to do nothing for the moment, the healer, the wizard is going to continue gathering crystals. Star Knight, she doesn't do anything. I want to get a higher potency crystals, she still stays there. Paladin, she's going to can she attack with a 2 strike, 4 armor? No, unless I combine them both. Yes, I will combine them both, and then I will make it will be just 1. Not doing well this round. I'm choosing not to do well because I'm trying to be better for the next round. So she's not going to do anything. We're just going to take the beating. Yeah, let's do that. We'll take the beating. Okay, so if that's the case, then the Exo Sasquatch will not going to move. They're going to stay in there because they're making with the blue chip a whirlwind of 4. So they are attacking the paladin. So 4 plus 1. Okay, at least it wasn't 3 like before. 4 plus 1 means 5. 5 minus 3. I take 2 more damage from this attack. Okay, that's not bad. My paladin took 2 more damage, and now I'm getting more and more crystals each passing combat round. Now let's move to the next stage. Next stage we gain once again the top. This time is a green, meaning that they're going to make a whirlwind. whirlwind of 5, so that will be pretty nasty, but let's prepare for that. I'm doing the ether step. Each hero is going to gain one crystal. Not particularly well for the paladin. And then the green player is going to... Oh, another red one. Keep in mind that this is not the first or the second adventure, this is an advanced stage. That's why my pouch contains a bit better crystals than they usually have, because when starting you only have one red crystal. So this is something like more advanced in the campaign, but that's okay. Then at the moment I think that I need to make a good attack. Oh, sorry, I forgot before, I need to regenerate 3 because I only did the wind wheel for the blue ability. So these are out, yeah. Okay. Now it's going to attack with the body slam, creating 5 damage. So what we're doing now, let's see, I think 2 blue crystals from the elf make 1 green, and then I make an energy shot of 3. Shooting directly into the face of the monster and inflicting 3 damage that go with no blocking because it's energy shot there. So recovering the damage that we inflicted originally. That's not bad. Then it's time for the Star Knight to do something. I think she has 2 green. She can do an energy chain of 2. Okay, so let's do this multiple times. So I think she's going to go 1, 2, move here in the same hex, so she can do the chain, energy chain. All right, she will move there. First of all, I was, let's say, a bit fast to do this, so I'm putting my attack back. I need to this was from here. I need to first do all of my movement and then proceed to the actions. Okay, I'm getting closer. So the elf is going to shoot from there, so she's not moving. The Star Knight moves there. The paladin will move. The paladin is going to be there, as I say. The Star Knight is going to be there. The paladin, she's going to move out because she's going to take more damage. She already has 4, so maybe it's time for her to move with agility of 1 plus 1 movement. 1, 2 here, so she's going to be healed by the priest. And then let's say that we stay like that. Then we move to the actions. Then the elf will shoot with 2 blue crystals, making 1 green, and inflicting 3 damage to because it's energy shot, it cannot be blocked, to the monster. The Star Knight, she can spend 1 crystal to make a green crystal to make an energy chain, so she does 2 damage to this monster, and it will do 2 minus 1 to another one. There is no other monster at the moment, so 2 more hit points to this monster. The orc is going to spend a red crystal to make a critical strike equal to lost HP, meaning the lost HP are 2. The critical means that any damage done after armor reduction is doubled. So we do a critical strike equal to lost HP. So the lost HP is 2, meaning that we're going to make a critical strike that it's going to be doubled. So no, I don't think, still I think we're too low. We need to gain more hit points in order to create more havoc with our red crystals there. So I'm not going to spend it. I changed my mind. So the orc is not going to do anything since I think it will be targeted by... Actually, it may move just out of the way. So let's say it moves with an agility of 3 + 1, 3 agility + 1, 4. She moves here. So we leave the Star Knight as a bait for the moment. Then the hero's phase has finished. Now it's turn of the monster. The monster does not move, engages the Star Knight. It will make a win wheel of 5. 5 plus 0, that's 5, minus the Star Knight has a strength of 1, 5 minus 1, 4, so it gains 4 hit points again. Not bad, still surviving, so this finishes this current round of combat. So moving to the next combat round, again we go through the 5 steps. We start first with upkeep phase, so we take the white chip stack and we pull the first one. Okay, oh, that's a good example. So this is a white one. That means that instead of resolving an attack, what will happen is we'll have an opportunity card instead of a normal attack. Opportunity cards respectively are linked with the type of enemy. So there are different decks. If there is a monster, this is the opportunity deck for the monsters. There are different opportunity decks for example Titans or space phenomena or aliens, etc. So it's essentially what happens with this case is when a white action chip is drawn during a combat round upkeep phase, we draw randomly a card, an opportunity card, corresponding to that type of enemy. In this case, that's just a monster. So what happens now is we will choose one of the options provided on the card. We would read the opportunity card and choose one of the 2 available options. Then we will flip the card to see what are the consequences of the selected option. Therefore, in this case, I will draw 1 card from the monster opportunity deck, which would be this deck here. Let's see, this is the Ether Strike, means that we have an option. The scenario that we are facing is described here. After devastating counterattack from the creature, the ground split open and from beneath you can see a trove of pure crystallized ether. If you manage to use it, you might be able to strike the creature with unrelented lethal force, but the backlash of the energy might have a dire consequence. I can take it or use it wisely. There we have 2 options. We can either try to take all the energy provided, but that means that if we are not meeting some criteria, then we may have a backlash, or use it wisely, and this is the more safe approach. For the moment, I think since we're doing well, we will go with the use it wisely option instead of risking it, which would be an option if we were desperately in need of something drastic to intensify our efforts to win the game. So I'll go with use it wisely in this case. Use it wisely means that I draw an additional ether crystal for every hero in the upcoming ether phase. So instead of 1 crystal, I'll draw 2. If we had selected just by chance, I can take it, any hero until the end of the combat may use a red ability without spending an ether crystal. Ooh. After doing so, they have to roll a d6. If their roll is greater than his or her willpower score, then that hero will be disabled. Meaning, for example, I can say that I use virtually 1 red crystal for this in order to counter an enemy ability, and if I would do so, then I need to roll something greater, something which is actually less than 2, 1 or 2, because if it is greater than my willpower, in this case the wizard has 2, that means, sorry, the wizard is 3, so 1, 2 or 3. If I roll something greater than 3, that means 4, 5, 6 for the wizard, I can do it for any of the heroes, then that hero would be disabled for the whole round. So it is a push or luck element essentially, but I think I'm happy with my choice to use it wisely, so I'll draw 2 crystals instead of 1 for this round. So moving to the ether crystal phase, I draw 2. And that's cool. That will give me, oh, I got a red one. That will give me a nice buff for this upcoming battle. And then 2 more here. As you can see, by gathering more and more crystals, I have more options and I'm becoming stronger. So I will be, I think, more efficient in damaging the creature, the monster now. And more for the priest. So I'm pretty well now with the crystals. So I'm happy with the result. So let's see our options now. Now we have to go to the next step, which is movement. All of my heroes will have to move. First of all, I have to remember that Star Knight here, she has already taken a lot of damage. She has 5, and there are 4 damage cubes on Paladin as well. So I think I need to be a bit careful with them in order to ensure that I'm not losing any hero down the process. So let's say that for this round I will need to do some healing, I suppose. Okay, before moving, I forgot, since this is a white result, the white chip has a white result instead of another color. That means that I take all of my white stack chips and I reshuffle them, all of them, so I make a new, completely new stack moving forward. So that's cool. Now, and then I remove the deck. I don't need it for the moment. Now let's say what I need to do is I need to do some more damage, because I'm still a bit low. I have 12 out of 38 and there's always a possibility of regaining 3 hit points, health points, if he uses a blue chip. I need to do something good now. So I think the elf is well positioned there to make another energy shot, because she got 2 blue crystals, so that equals 1 green, means that she can do a damage of energy directly into the hit points of the master for 3 damage, so that's cool. Okay, I'll leave her there, no movement for her. Then I think I'll need to do something more drastic, maybe with my orc. She's a bit buffed with 2 red crystals. Star Knight, she can do a lot of damage as well, but the thing is that she's a bit, I think that she's a bit in a difficult spot due to the fact that she has a lot of damage. So let me try something now. I will use 2 orange ones from the priest to make them a red one and heal all other heroes. So I will not have to move at the moment, so I'll leave my priest there. I will also leave my Star Knight there, so she can do a double energy strike of 3. I'll be cool, make 6 damage. Then I will try to attack with my Paladin. She has 1 yellow and 1 green, plus 1 more green make a yellow, so all those 4 will make 1 red, 1 yellow, 1 green and 2 blue, meaning I can make a critical energy strike 3. That's interesting. So both of them can deal 12 damage, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I'll count it again. That means that I have also handy and waiting my wizard to counter an enemy ability. That'll be nice. So let's do that. Okay, I'm going to move my Paladin using agility 1 plus 1, movement of 2, so she's coming here. Okay, cool. Then next I'm going to keep the Star Knight there. She needs to do some damage. My orc has a movement of 3 plus 1, 4, so 1, 2. So let's say she's facing this way. And she's going to also do some melee attack. And then I'll keep my wizard and my priest where they are, potentially supporting if needed. and I think I'm okay with movement. Now let's move to my actions. First, the easy part is the elf is going to exchange 2 blue crystals for 1 green, so therefore she's going to make an energy shot of 3. No blocking from strength, it's an energy shot, so 3 directly hit points, so the monster takes 3 more hit points. Therefore that's 5, 10, 15, we are already at 15, 10 and 5. Right, then moving forward, the elf is done, she played. I think I'm going to make a critical energy strike 3 using a red crystal, which I don't have, but I do have 1 yellow, so I need a second yellow to make it red, meaning I can use 1 green and 2 blue, which makes it 2 green, so 2 green equal another yellow, and 2 yellow make 1 red. That's a nice combo, good to know, good to have it like that. Therefore I have 1 red crystal that I'm just spending with my paladin to make the Holy Smite, which is a critical energy strike 3. Critical energy means that whatever goes above what is blocked, it is doubled, and then that's a strike of 3. It's an energy strike of 3, so it cannot be blocked, so it's 2 times 3, that means 6, so that would mean that the paladin is inflicting 6 damage to the monster, if I'm getting this right. That's cool, so she has done her work, that's cool. The Star Knight, she's in the same hex with the monster, so she can also attack, spending 1 red crystal to make a double energy strike 3. Energy strike means that she's hitting 3 plus 3 with no blocking because it's energy 6, so she does another 6 damage. That's cool, doing well. I'm going to exchange those 2 fivers for a tenner, so we're 25, 27. That's really good. Then we have the orc. The orc has also some red crystals. They can do critical strike equal to lost HP, meaning a critical strike will double the damage. Our orc, unfortunately, she would do a critical strike equal to lost HP, meaning that it will be critical after she does a strike. The strike is only 2 because she has 2 HP hit points, so she will not bypass the 3 strength, so it's not effective yet, so let's keep it like that. But we can use it for making a simple, spending 1 green crystal, yeah, to make a simple pain to strength, charge, strike 5, lose 1 HP, and weapons 4. Weapons 4 is for the spacecraft, we don't care. So I make a charge, strike 5, charge means I move twice, I don't care. It's enough movement, I'm already managing well. Strike 5 means I pass 5 damage, minus 3 for the strength of the monster, that's 2. But I need to take 1 HP damage myself due to the blast. So 2 more damage to the body of the monster. That's good, and she has also activated. So I think we're doing really well so far. I'm thinking that there's no need to make heal all other heroes. Now, some small detail I forgot to mention is, you remember when I pulled the white chip and I had to reshuffle and I've done the opportunity card, is from now on, instead of immediately after I pulled the white chip and resolved the opportunity card, I draw 2 chips. And from now onward, on the upkeep phase, I will draw 2 chips for the monster card because the time now is pressuring us. So already in the round that I pulled the white chip and I resolved the opportunity card, I should have afterwards pulled 2. So the monster will attack with a red, with a blue, and with a green ability as well. So it's going to be more powerful now. So keep that in mind as well. And every round it will be pulling 2 white chips instead of 1, meaning that it will be more and more difficult to resist their attacks. So that being said, now I think that it's a good idea that I spend my I spent my... Yes, I would spend my crystal from the priest to heal all heroes because they are in big trouble. I'm for sure I'll need to do that. So let's spend 1 orange and 1 orange, so that equals 1 red from the priest, and he can heal all other heroes besides himself, meaning that they all recover by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, healing 5. Healing 5, she has 4, so she's fully healed. And let's heal the orc. I was going to take some hit points in order to make more use of striking equal to her lost HP, but I think it's difficult, so because of the 2 attacks that they will be doing moving forward, also including this round the master. So let's prepare. So let's heal everyone. I think that's fine for the moment. Now, moving forward, at this stage now, the monster would move and attack. It does not have to move because it has heroes engaged. So he's going through their attack. First he's going to do the blue and then he's going to do the green. So gain 3 health point HP, so it gains 3 HP. And it does a wind wheel of 4, meaning dealing 4 damage to both the Star Knight and the Orc, which are in the same hex like the Exo. That's the ability of the Whirlwind. So 4 minus 1, because she has 1 strength, that is 3 damage cubes for him. Oh, sorry, I need to pull 1 chip. Yeah, almost forgot. So it's 2. So he does 4 plus 2, 6. 6 minus 1, it does 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ouch, that was bloody painful. And then the next one is that was Star Knight. The next one is the Orc, because it's in the same hex with the monster. It does a damage of again 4 plus 2, that's 6, minus 2, it does a damage of 4. Okay, that's bad for me, for sure. Now, I think that I'm in a big trouble, so I'm pulling another. So that's for the blue. I'm pulling a modifier for the green, which is a whirlwind of 5 plus 0, thank God. That means that now it's going to make a damage of 5. That's pretty nasty on the same people. Okay, it's getting difficult now for me, but I think at least moving forward I can use in my attack with the Orc this ability and provide 9 damage to the monster, because it has 9 hit points. Then I need to heal the Orc for sure. Okay, this combat has finished. Moving on to the next one. That was pretty nasty to begin with. Okay, so I think that for the moment I need to keep the pressure on, because I'm somehow close, 25, 26. I need a few more health points to beat it. Okay, so let's say for the moment that I think I'm doing well. We'll see. So now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to move to the next combat round. So moving to the next combat round, that means that I need to prepare with the upkeep phase. So essentially what I'm doing now is I'm pulling another chip from the ones that I have here. So again it will be 2 chips, because we have already revealed the white marker, and it is removed from the box, from the stack. Once revealed, it's not reshuffled. So pulling 1, ooh, and the second one blue. Okay, so it will be red and blue ability. Sorry, orange, thank God. Orange and blue ability. Orange and blue ability. Okay, cool. Now it's my turn to shine. I think that I'm in a bit nasty situation, because those 2 guys are bleeding quite heavily. Therefore I need to do something cool. First of all, I think I will need to draw the fire of the attack of the monster, the vicious attack on the paladin, because she has no damage so far. Yet I need to move I need to move the orc in a position to strike with 9 hit point. This will be 9 minus 3, 6. It's an opportunity not to lose it. So let's do that. I think that I'm going to leave my elf here. But first let's draw some crystals before I make more plans. So 1 crystal here, 1 for the wizard, and 1 for the paladin. Then some more crystals, 1 for the orc, 1 for the elf, and 1 for the priest. I would have loved the priest to get the red crystal instead of the orc, so let's do that. I think I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to let it in the pouch because I don't want the orc to get more red crystals. It's more useful for the rest, I think. Yeah. So let's see what we do. I need to get the we're going to have the summon of the termite due to the orange, and then we're going to have a regenerative slime, meaning a whirlwind of 4 and regain 3 HP again. So let's think that through. Let's think that carefully, because it's a bit of a difficult spot. I think it's a tipping point for us. So let's see what we do best. I think that I would go first of all with moving the paladin 1 and 1, 2 in the same hex like the monster. Then I would move my orc 1 hex here, so it can be outside of the whirlwind, so it will not lose any hit point and it will do some damage. And the next thing that I'll need to do is, I think I need to protect the Star Knight because she's pretty done her job and is bleeding now. So I think I'm going to get her. Okay, she can move 2 + 1, 3. So 1, 2. She comes here. Yep. And then I will move the healer here or here, so they can do the healing on this hex and heal both the orc and the Star Knight, which are pretty bad at the moment. Let's see. The wizard, I don't have any reason to move them for the moment, so I'm keeping them here. And I'm going to actually, the paladin, I can leave her there, I think, for the moment. Yeah. Yes, I think it's fine. I'm okay with that. So let's see what we do now. Then what we have is the action point of the action part of the heroes. Now the orb is going to activate and it's going to use a yellow crystal as if it was a green to create a strike equal to lost HP. She has lost 9 HP, meaning that she makes a strike of 9 minus 3. She does a damage of 6. That's a good hit, at least some good news. 5, 6. Let's exchange this. 2 5 5s, 4 1. So we are 30, 32. Okay, we're doing well. Let's see if we can gather 6 more. The elf is going to make a strike. Ooh, she can only make a shot of 4. That means that she will only pass 1 damage. That's bad luck. Anyway, let's do that because it's 4 minus 3, 1. So she does 1 damage. We still need 6 more. 5 more. Okay. So the next thing would be for the priest to make some healing. Can he do some healing? He has to heal all other heroes in Hex. So he will spend 1 green to heal all of them full power now. Not full power, sorry, a 5er, because it's a maximum is half of the hit points, so 10 minus divided by 2 it's 5, so it can only heal 5 and 5 from the Star Knight. It's not out of the woods yet because they're still having a lot of hit points, but at least they're not in the same hex like the monster, so it's more tactical this way. Let's leave them there. He can still potentially heal another time in the next round and completely remove the full damage. I think I'm fine with that, but then I will need to reposition them accordingly. Okay, fair enough. I'm keeping in my sleeve the counter enemy ability, so I'm going to counter this summoning of the termite. I think that's a crucial point to do it now. Okay, let's do the paladin's act. She has strike 3, armor 4, or she can do charge, strike 4, resistance 2. That means that she can do a strike 4 minus 3. She does 1 more damage herself. Still, we need 4 more. I don't think we're going to make it this round, but at least what we can do is we can use the ability of the wizard. That's why we're keeping him at the back, supporting, because he can spend 2 green, making 1 yellow, plus 1 other yellow, 2 yellows, making 2 yellow crystals, making 1 red, in order to counter enemy ability. Therefore it's completely removing the orange one, so it's like it never happened. So there won't be any summoning of the dire termite due to the fact that we have countered the ability. By doing so, we just stopped it from being summoned. Otherwise it would be summoned here and will be also drawing white chips and being able to attack us and do damage for us. So thank God for that. We managed to stop that ability with the counter enemy ability of the wizard. That's a powerful ability. You keep him in the formation for critical chances like that, critical timing. Now it was 1 critical timing. I think we really needed that boost. It will make the difference because we are very, very close to killing the Exo Sasquatch. Okay, we countered that ability. That doesn't mean that this is not activated. So this is going to be activated. We have finished. So in theory now it's the movement of the enemy, the monster. It does not move. It has a hero in the hex. So it makes its attack, which is the blue one. It makes regain 3 HP. So it gains 3 HP. So we're back to 31. But it does a whirlwind of 4. Meaning striking 4 to the paladin, 4 minus 3, only 1 damage. I think that's a good opportunity to go like that, because at least this way we're not getting you know, more damage, especially since we are countering the effect with you know, the paladin taking some damage, removing some of due to the strength. She has high strength, and then being able to inflict more damage in our hero action. Okay, fair enough, that's good. Then we're finished, we're done. So the next thing that we do is we move. This is not in the game yet, it didn't spawn, so forget about it. And what we do is we move to the next round. Now, upkeep again. I'm reminding you, we're drawing 2. 1 and 1, 2. So we have 2 blue. And that means this ability is going to be activated twice. So regain 3 HP and whirlwind 4. Okay. Okay. Let's go move to the ether crystal, draw some crystals. Hopefully we get something cool. A blue one for the Star Knight, a red one for the wizard. Ooh, that's great. We can counter an enemy ability again. And another red one for the paladin. That was good. That was a blue player, and now the green player is drawing 1 red. Nope, it's not going to draw the red. Ooh, the red, now it goes to the elf. I drew again. It was a new draw, not the same. And the green one goes there, because I just realized it goes out of the camera. I'm not cheating. So let's move then to the movement of our heroes. I think I'm going to keep my paladin there, pinning the monster there, because it's a good opportunity. But the fact is that the orc now cannot do more. I think that it's more useful for the Star Knight to create some damage, because if she creates with, okay, that's an orange, look at that, that's an orange, 2 green make an orange, and 2 more green make another orange, so I have 2 orange. That means that I have 1 red with those 4 crystals. That's great, those 4 green crystals. By using that I can do a double energy strike 3. I will do that because I will, therefore I will move my orc in the same hex here. I will try to win this round. Let's see if we're lucky. I will move my Star Knight here to make her double energy strike 3, and I cannot move any more standee there because there are already 3. The priest can do some healing, maybe, yes, he can stay there and do some healing to the Star Knight. That should be nice. And then I can do a critical energy shot of 3 with the elf as well. So I think I'm pretty good now. I'm in pretty good position. That's the monster is in a pretty tight spot. I think I'm going to win. Let's see. I already have 30 and I need 38. And I'm trying to avoid having it spawn another dire termite. So far I'm doing well. Okay, action. I'm done with movement. I start with my Star Knight. Double energy strike 3. Energy strike 3 means it cannot be blocked with strength, so 3 times 2 because it's a double. I'm attacking again, 3 and 3, that's a 6. So 5, 6. Okay. Oh, so we're winning because I've used my double energy strike with 1 red crystal, expanding all those 4 green ones, essentially 1 red. So Star Knight played really well this round. I'm really happy. I'm going to play now with my paladin. My paladin has a critical energy strike 3, so she does also energy strike 3 critical, meaning it cannot it doubles what it cannot be blocked. That means 3 plus 3, 6. So I'm doing another damage of 6 and I'm defeating the monster, because by doing that I surpassed 38 and I'm already winning. So the monster is out and I only played Star Knight and Paladin. That's really good. I was in a good position because, let me tell you what was the tipping point in my opinion. The fact that I used the red crystal to counter the enemy ability, and there was no spawning of the dire termite, which would be essentially a second enemy for me to worry about, and each time I would draw a white chip, I would have to draw one also for the dire termite, and the same way it would have also to move and attack using its abilities, etc. So I managed to avoid this situation, and that was really good. So that's why the wizard was very important, and his response was very welcomed at the specific time as well. The timing was excellent, and I think this is how we finish this combat round. So moving forward, I would reap the rewards of my combat. In this case, there's nothing at the back of the card. There is no additional options or gaining either upgrades or additional things. The thing that I'm gaining is 3 credits, because I knew that already when I went into the battle with this monster. I knew I wanted the 3 credits because it is a level 3 miniature creature monster. So I gained 3 credits for my campaign, which I can use hopefully together with the rest of the credits I've gathered so far to upgrade one of my USS Freedom modules. Maybe I get an extra weapons or something. So that concludes at this moment this round. I finished my adventure and I'm going to move forward from the space that I stopped with my USS Freedom on the interstellar map, continuing the surrounding and what I encounter around me with the next adventure on the next game. I hope you enjoyed this live playthrough and you got a pretty good idea of how the game plays. As you can see, it's very tactical. It's all about options, using the special crystals and special abilities of all of your heroes at the correct time. That's very important. And always there are meaningful decisions on you know, what to do first, when to keep your crystals for using them at a better time, or where to position your heroes around the monster to try to pin it, block it, or direct its attack so that you can counterattack and gain victory at the end. Hopefully you got a good understanding of how the combat works. Till next time, many thanks for watching.